You know that feeling when you watch a progress bar fill up? It's weirdly satisfying, right? Well, today we're diving into a UI component that bottles up that same feeling for those really complex multi-step processes. It's called DaisySteps. And we're about to see how this one little tool can take a user journey from confusing and kind of scary to something that feels clear, confident, and totally guided. So, picture this. You've just spent weeks, maybe months, building the perfect multi-step feature. It could be a super detailed registration form, a checkout flow, a setup wizard, whatever. But for the user, a long process with no end in sight, that can feel like being dropped in a maze, blindfolded. The question is, how do we give them a map? How do we show them the way out? And here's the map. It's a simple visual stepper component. Seriously, think of it like a breadcrumb trail for your users. It instantly answers those three big questions they always have. Where am I right now? How far have I already come? And most importantly, how much further do I have to go? It seems like a small thing, but this component is a massive confidence booster. It can be the difference between a user sticking around or just giving up and leaving.
All right, first up, let's talk about actually getting this thing to fit into your design. I mean, a good guide has to be able to adapt, right? So we're going to explore how its layout and orientation can stretch and bend to fit pretty much any screen size or context you throw at it.
Okay, this is a classic problem, right? You've got the standard horizontal layout, and it looks great on a big desktop screen. But what happens when you need to cram it into a narrow space, like a mobile view or a busy sidebar on a desktop app? You can't have a component that's rigid. It needs to be flexible.
And the solution is, well, it's surprisingly simple. It all comes down to a single property in the code, orientation. You can either just leave it as the default, which is horizontal, or you can flip it to vertical. That's it. One line of code and boom, you've completely changed the component's entire structure to fit your needs.
And this is where it gets cool, seeing that flexibility in action. Check it out. On the left, you've got that vertical orientation, perfect for the sidebar we were just talking about. Then on the right, there's the standard horizontal layout we all know. It's one property, but it gives you two completely different looks. That's some serious power right there.
Okay, so we've got the layout down. Now, let's have some fun and inject a bit of personality. Functionality is key for sure, but the form, the look and feel, that's what makes an interface feel like yours. So we're going to move past the basic numbers and see how we can customize this thing to perfectly match your app's brand. Right out of the box, you get this clean, numbered sequence. And look, it's totally functional. Everybody understands it, it gets the job done. But let's be real. Why stop there? Why settle for just functional when we can make it way more expressive and, honestly, a lot more intuitive? The good news is you're not stuck with just numbers. There's this method called add step with icon, and it lets you swap out that number for pretty much any text character you want. And oh yeah, that absolutely includes emojis. And just like that, you can add some serious flair. Using a simple emoji or an icon, it just makes the whole process feel less, generic. It adds this layer of visual context that a plain old number just can't match. It connects with the user on a totally different level.
But what if you need something more? What if you need those pixel-perfect, on-brand icons that match your design system? Well, for that next-level polish, you've got Add Step with SVG icon. This method lets you pull in high-quality SVG files straight from your project's assets.
And here it is, the ultimate level of customization in action. I mean, look how polished that is. You can integrate your app's own unique icon set for perfect brand consistency. It's amazing. In just a couple of moves, we've gone from a generic numbered list to this fully branded, totally custom experience. Okay, so we've covered layout and we've covered style. Now let's tackle a really practical problem: scale. What happens when your nice, simple 4-step process suddenly becomes a 20-step epic? How in the world does the UI handle that? I mean, this happens all the time in the real world, right? You've got this super long, complex process, but it has to live inside a container that has a fixed height or width. Normally, the UI would just break, the steps would wrap all weird, or worse, they just overflow and disappear off screen, which completely defeats the whole purpose.
And once again, there's a super elegant fix that's just a single property. All you have to do is set scrollable to true, and the component just figures it out. It automatically knows how to handle the overflow. So no broken layouts, no hidden steps, just a nice, clean, scrollable list.
And check out the result. This vertical stepper has 20 steps crammed into it, but it fits perfectly inside its container. The user can just scroll to see every single step in the process. It's such a solid solution to what is usually a really messy UI problem. All right, let's pull all of this together. We've seen how just a few simple properties and methods can completely transform this one component. It can go from a basic, no-frills utility to a fully branded, custom-fit guide for your users.
So what we've really been looking at is a component that's incredibly versatile. You get total control over the layout, flipping between horizontal and vertical. You can customize the heck out of the visuals, using anything from numbers to emojis to your own branded icons. It handles massive scale with that scrollable option, and you can even direct the user's attention with custom colors for whatever the active step is. It's just a really, really powerful and flexible tool.
So we've walked through the what and the how. Really, the only question left is for you. Now that you've seen all this flexibility, the layouts, the icons, the way it handles scale, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What complex process, what onboarding flow, what user journey are you inspired to go out and build right now?